Hi, how are you? Hold on just one second. Good evening, good evening. Let's see. If you're here, please drop your name so we can see and give you recognition that you are here and we can see you and you can hear us or hear me. We're talking about planting seeds. This was a subject that was eventually going to be on my page, but someone that follows me, Sister Terry from our church, she actually posted about this earlier this week. And I said, well, it's about time I should go ahead and do it because people are starting to ask questions and about their food, really. So this is a live session with a conversation about planting seeds or having a garden. Hey, Sister Terry, how are you? So what we're going to do is I'm just going to give you some basics. Some things people know, things people don't know. Things what to look out for as far as the seeds are concerned, where to buy your seeds, how to prep to plant your seeds in the ground eventually. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you and welcome to my live. And I wanted to know, just drop in the comments, what are you planning to grow? If you are out there and you are planning to grow a garden this year, what are you planning to grow? Or do you know what you want to grow? Some of the things that people don't know are the different ways that you can grow. You can grow in a container, you can grow in a raised bed, or you can grow in a in-ground. Okay, we've got someone is saying they're going to grow in elevated beds or our garden for their garden this growing season. Okay, so usually elevated beds mean raised beds for those of you who don't know. Now, raised beds are usually pre-made. Some people make them the year before and use them again. For first timers, they seem like sometimes that they could be overwhelmed with trying to build them, but they're pretty simple. You can make them as low and cost effective as using 2x4s with one round on the ground and fill in that area with your dirt. Okay, they're gonna grow a lot of. Okay, so when are your seeds are supposed to be due to you on Sunday? Is that what you're saying? Drip out loud. Hi, thank you for joining. So, raised bed gardens. Raised beds are, well, let me take that back. Container gardens are ones that are usually in buckets or bags. Raised beds are the ones that you actually use like a 2x4 on the ground and fill the area with dirt. And an in-ground means you're going to actually take your yard and till it up, and you're going to prep that soil to be able to grow your food. So we can talk about all of those. Okay, great. You can hear me. So if you plan to do a container garden or a raised bed garden, that means you're going to get pre-made soil from some big box store and you're going to fill your container or your raised bed with it. Oh, I'm glad I can help you. Okay, if you can see in the comments, Drip Out Loud is she's doing tomatoes, lettuce, cucumbers, squash, zucchini, watermelon, strawberries, potatoes, garlic, onions, and herbs, bell peppers, and garden beans. Wow, that's a lot. It is. It's going good. It's going good. We have to talk about my achievements with my health. We'll talk about it. So if you are going to plant an in-ground, you're going to actually take a tiller and you're going to till that ground up. You're going to make it pliable, as if you would, so that it can receive your seeds or your pre-germinated plants. So that's how you're going to do this. That's how most people start. If they have their own land, or if they have a yard that maybe they can till up, then that's what they would do for a in-ground. But a lot of people don't have that. But that should not discourage you. There are plenty of people that have found ways to work on patios, on balconies of apartment buildings, all kinds of ways. All you need is something to put the dirt in and put the plants in. That's all you need. And a way to water it. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if anybody can let me know if it's still lagging. It might be the storm that's coming through. So what I was saying, you can garden anywhere. People say I can't garden because I have an apartment, or I can't garden because I just have a patio and they don't allow us to do things on our patio. So what? Take it in the house. Put something in a container. Take it in the house and get you some artificial lighting. There, that solves your problem. Grow your food. If you want to grow your food, grow your food. My sister actually had a desire to always have lemon trees. And I kid you not, I found out in December that she had actually grew 2 lemon trees in her house, and each one lemon tree bore 4 lemons. So it can be done. Yeah, you can grow inside of Home Depot buckets, or you can do, or Lowe's buckets, or any type of 5-gallon bucket that you can get your hands on. A 5-gallon bucket gives you at least enough space for the roots to draw down, and you can water them. Put them in your tub. I saw somebody on YouTube or something the other day. They took all their house plants, put them in the tub, and took the shower head and watered them right there in the tub. It can be done within the home. It can be done. So don't let space or hindrances say or dictate that you cannot grow. You can grow. So why do you want a garden? A lot of people are asking, why do I want a garden? Or they ask somebody else, why do they garden? Right, get some white rocks and put them at the bottom for your filter. Exactly. So why? There's a number of reasons why. Currently, why people grow is food security and cost savings. And I say that because everybody is trying to get a handle on their food, where it's going to come from, in case there is a shutdown due to our current administration. So with that being said, food security, yes, nobody wants to go hungry. Nobody. So if you don't want to go hungry, the next best thing is for you to grow it. Another thing is cost savings. That's another thing with our administration. Food is the price of food is going up. There's no doubt about it. When it comes to your fresh fruits and vegetables, they are getting expensive, truly. I picked up 2 Honeycrisp apples yesterday, or day before yesterday. 2 Honeycrisp, 2, just 2. It was $3.78 for 2 Honeycrisp apples. And I was just like, when did apples, regardless of what they are, what type they are, when did they get so expensive? But they have gotten expensive. So yes, so people are those are the 2 main things right now of why people are thinking about gardening: food security and cost savings. So a lot of you are saying, well, how is it going to save me money? So think about this. You can buy a pack of seeds of green beans. I'm just going to use green beans. And in the pack, I think you get about, depending on where you get them from, what seed company you get them from, you're going to get at least 10 to 15, because green bean seeds are about like that. So you're going to get about 10 to 15, and maybe a little more depending on the brand or how expensive they are. If you were to plant just 5 of those, just 5, your bounty is going to be more than the 5 seeds that you planted. Most green beans are on a vine. They run on a vine, and you have to trellis them up. So as they trellis, and each time you see a flower, that's a bean. The more flowers you have on that one plant, those are your beans. Those are your beans. So say if you had 150 flowers on one plant, you've got 150 string beans. Times that by 5. There you go. That alone is enough to take into your home, clean them up, pop the top ends off of them, snap them, put them in the freezer, or in some cases, like Sister Terry has said, learn how to can so your food won't go bad. So just because you're growing it doesn't mean you're going to let it sit. You got to do something with it when you get your harvest. So think about that as well. We're going to talk about it. So the other thing that why people are gardening is knowing what's in their food. A lot of people are seriously looking into what is causing them to be sick. And they're finding that a lot of these preservatives and chemicals that are on the food, the wax, all of that, is causing them to have all of these health issues. So that's another reason why people are starting to garden, because they don't want all of that in their body. And I'm sure a lot of you have said, okay, well, why are they doing that? It's to control the food. Think about it. If they can control the food and they can control what's on the food, you get sick, you're spending more money. Again, more money. And healthcare costs are not free, not here in the United States. It's not free. You have to pay for your health insurance here. Exactly. There's nothing like going to your backyard to pick some veggies for your side dishes. They are so good. They are so good. That's another thing. They taste different. A lot of people don't realize that. Getting canned goods out of the store, even though they have lined the cans or they've changed the way the cans are made, they still have a metallic taste. Nothing like going to your pantry, like something like what I have, and picking up a jar, popping it, putting it in the pot. Simple as that. Simple as that. The next thing, some people garden because they have mental issues. It keeps them from having a lot of stress. But what do those people do with that food? Some of them don't keep it. Some of them do it just for that and give it away. Some of them do it and they sell it so they can make a profit and continue on in their journey of being stress-free. But they're helping at the same time. It's also a skill that you can pass down to your family members, regardless of where they are in life. Because regardless, children can pick up on it quicker than you might think. I'm one of those that I used to hang around my grandmother. I love pole beans. That's where I got them from, out of the garden. So get you some tomato seeds, some green beans, cucumbers, lettuce, cabbage, collard greens, turnip greens, mustard greens, whatever your fancy. Pick up some seeds and put them away for when it's time to grow them. I've already talked about where you can garden. You can garden in apartments, on balconies, and in backyards. Anybody out there want to expound on what made them interested in gardening? Enlighten us for a few seconds. Sister Terry, you still out there? What made you decide to make that post about learning how to garden? You want to share that with us? Therapeutic, I understand. It's really it really calms you. It does calm your nerves. It really does. Yes. That's another thing. A lot of people cook and want, for a living. And they want fresh ingredients. There's nothing like having fresh ingredients because they receive the seasonings better. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. So what we're going to talk about next is what to buy and where. Anybody want to expound on where they have thought about buying their seeds? I got 4 people. Anybody out? Are you out there? Burpee is a brand, yes. Anybody else? Okay, so what we're gonna talk about is on seeds versus starter plants. You don't? Okay, so that's why we're here. You can garden anywhere. You can garden anywhere. It's not rocket science. You just need some dirt, some seeds, and a container, and that's it, and some water, and a light source. So just basic. It's very basic. And we just talked about how people are there are people out here that like okra. I am one of them. Oh my goodness. Anyway, give me a second. Oh my goodness. Okay. Seeds versus starter plants. The pros and the cons. Oh my God, don't start with the okra. For those of you who are wondering why I'm laughing, there was an incident that has happened over the past 2 weeks regarding okra, and we're not going to discuss it, but it was so funny. Anyway, but there are people out here that do like okra. Oh my God. Yeah. uh, uh, I have to tell you the funny at the end. But we are so starting seeds. You don't have to. Some people can't start seeds successfully because they have had bad experiences with them, so they opt to get what's called starter plants. Burpee is a company that not only sells seeds, but they also sell starter plants. So they would be a good company to purchase from, and you would find Burpee in your big box stores. Sometimes hardware stores have them, but I think hardware stores are starting to get away from them. But you can always try. Well, that's true. If you garden in an apartment or on a balcony or something like that, you will not have chipmunks, squirrels, or groundhogs. That is for sure. And for those of you who are reading the thread, those three types of animals steal religiously. They do. And you would have to take precautions to keep them out of your garden. Yes, they are online. They also, if I'm not mistaken, they also have, Burpee has a catalog, and I'm going to talk about that too. The pros and the cons about starting seeds versus starter plants. So if you choose to buy seeds, then you have to be the person to understand how to germinate that seed. Some seeds you can do a quick approach by sitting them in between a folded damp paper towel and sitting that paper towel inside a sandwich bag and putting it on top of your refrigerator. The heat from the top of the refrigerator will actually germinate the plant for you, which means that it's going to pop the outer shell of the seed, and then you will start to see the root. If you do a starter plant, that means that the company that sold the plant, they've already done that work for you. They've germinated the seed. They have put the seed in the dirt. They have watched it grow to at least about maybe a foot high, maybe, depending on the plant. Then you go to the store and you buy a whole tray of them, and they're already ready to go in the dirt. So those are your starter plants. Okay? Where to buy? I've already talked about it. You can do local garden centers. Some places, some areas in some towns, some cities, depending on where you live, some places have community gardens. You can start there. If you have a community garden, you can see if they have a place where they're selling seeds or swapping seeds, or selling plants or swapping plants. You never know. It only takes for you to find it and ask. That's all. You can go to online seed companies, and I'm going to give you some of those. Seed swaps and libraries. Now, I did not know that libraries had seed swaps. So check your local libraries to see if they have the seed swap going or know where the seed swap is happening. Okay? Another place that you can go, if you have flea markets in your area, outside flea markets or flea markets that you can drive up to, and they're like these long areas that look like a big long mall that's, basically outside, you can go there. There's lots of people who grow their plants and sell them at flea markets. They have a booth that they go to every year, and they actually sell their starter plants. So that's another thing. When you are buying those plants, be aware that, yes, starter plants cost more than the seeds. So be prepared. Have your ching-ching ready. They can be a little on the pricey side. But don't give them a hard time, because they have to make their money too. They've already done the hard work for you. So don't give them a hard time. When you are planting your seeds, make sure that you read. Make sure you read the packet. You need to know when, you need to make sure you know what area you are in physically. All seeds, just because it can grow in the dirt, you have to know when to put it in the dirt. Read your packet. A lot of people don't, and they just say, oh, it never worked for me. That's why they get discouraged. They didn't read it. So read the packet, understand your zone, when to plant, and when to put your germinated seeds in the ground, or if it's just saying plant directly into the ground, because all seeds don't need germination, pre-germination. All it wants you to do is just drop it in the dirt and cover it up, water it. That's it. You have to understand what you're doing when you're planting, because you don't want to spend $1.25 on a pack of seeds and then the next thing you know, you get nothing. You don't want to do that. That's wasting time and money. Okay? Understand the days of maturity. So, days of maturity. If you are putting your seeds directly in the ground, it tells you on the back of the pack when to expect a harvest. It tells you. If you are germinating your seed, you have to write the date on your little packet so that you'll know you're going, how many days further out you have before you harvest. If you are getting seed starters or plant starters, sometimes it tells you when to expect a harvest. So in that particular case, if it doesn't, you'll just have to make sure that you're watching it and just take your best guess as to when to expect a harvest. Okay? Make sure you understand full sun and partial sun. There are plants out there that take full sun. I'm going to tell you like this. Melons, especially watermelons, for those of you in the South, like me, you need a hill and you need some sun. And I mean a lot of sun. You can't half step when it comes to full sun and partial sun. If you got a plant that needs full sun, give it what it wants. If you have it for partial, give it what it wants. Don't swap the two either. You give a plant that just needs partial sun and you turn around and give it full sun, it's good as gone. You're gonna burn it up. Period. That's just the way God made it. Simple as that. Again, you're wasting your time and your money. If you put it in partial sun and it's supposed to have full sun, it's going to die because it had not enough sun. Same thing. Spacing and depth. A lot of people don't think about that. So some plants have to have at least so many inches apart. Some have to have at least a foot apart. Read the back of your packet. If it is a starter plant, read the starter plant instructions and it tells you how far to place it out. If you don't give it enough space, it's crowded, it's not going to grow. If you give it too much space, then it may not pollinate, because some plants need enough space or some closeness to pollinate. Okay? So read the labels. Read. How many seeds do you really need? That depends on you. But you don't want to overbuy. What I say is this. If this is your first time gardening, I would try at least 5 plants of everything that I want to buy, that I want to grow. 5. That's what I would say. You don't want to get out there and then you have a bumper crop of something, you don't know what to do with it. Try 5 of each thing. You can go as little as 5 plants per item. 5 cucumbers, 5 tomatoes, 5 lettuce, 5 cabbage, 5 stalks of collard greens. And I'll tell you about collard greens. When you put those out, it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going because you harvest the stalk from the bottom up. So it's still growing when you harvest. So think about that. Some plants don't, you just don't pull it out of the ground because it's, it's full. Collard greens is one of those, it continues to go until there's no more room for it to grow up. Okay? On tomatoes and cucumbers, as long as the vine is growing and producing flowers, you're going to get fruit. Simple as that. If you don't get any more flowers, it's done. Okay? When to buy, again, right now, if you are in the South, particularly the Southeast, most seeds are on sale right now in most of your big box stores. If you are not looking for heirloom seeds, then you can get them at your Dollar Tree, your Dollar General, your Family Dollar, your Walmart right now until at least April to June. Some stores cut them off just as soon as they run out. Other stores, they'll keep selling them until they run out, but they usually stop no later than June. If you're going to plant a garden, you want your seeds, you need to get them now. Simple as that. If you are buying seeds, and I don't have a catalog, but the best company that I like to use is Baker Creek, and I'll give you that later on. The next thing we're going to talk about is testing your soil. Now, if you are in a situation where you have to use a container or a raised bed, then you're going to be buying soil and placing the soil in whatever you plan to use. But if you're going to be planting an in-ground garden, then once you till it up, you need to have that soil tested. You don't know what's out there, especially if you are just moving into a place or you've been there and never grown. You don't know what the previous people did. Have your soil tested. Just dig it up, till it up, let it sit a little bit, and send it off somewhere. Find you a place that tests soil, and they'll send it back to you and tell you what's there. People don't realize that some places allow you to, they don't, if you have a pet that dies, like here in Georgia, you can bury the carcass in your backyard. You don't know what's out there. You don't. Have it checked. That's just precautionary, because if you don't know if that's out, what's had been out there, you're gonna waste your money again. Have your soil tested. On the con side of buying pre-made soil, if you open a bag and it smells like ammonia, it has not composted completely. So you probably would need to return it, or you might want to let it air and let it continue to compost yourself. So think about that as well. So that's another thing. Somebody I watch on TV didn't understand why her whole plot died last year. And that was the reason why. So if it smells like ammonia, when you open it up, if you're going to container garden, it has not finished composting. So you need to think about how you're going to rectify that. Get your money back, get an exchange, or let it continue to compost, okay? You need to know what types of soil you have. Do you have clay soil, sandy soil, or loamy soil? And that makes a difference because all plants take a certain kind of soil. Some plants are not supposed to be in clay and they still grow. Figure that. But anyway, if you till up your ground and you have a lot of clay, you want to offset that and make it suitable for your plants. You can also do some simple DIY tests. I haven't looked into it to find out what your my soil is. But you can do that. You can look that up online, or you can buy your own soil kits. But if you don't want to do that, sometimes your county extension offices have that service for free for you, and you can actually call them and ask them to come out. All right. Let's see. Fertilizers and soil amendments. This is what I was talking about your dirt or your soil, whatever you plan to use. If you buy pre-made soil, it's got fertilizers and things like that in it, but the plant itself will tell you, your seeds will tell you when to fertilize again. If you have pre-made or already planted items, then what you would do is you would just look at the tag and see if it tells you to fertilize again. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So think about your fertilizers and your soil amendments, especially soil amendments if you are planting in ground. Watering basics. Know when to water. You do not want to overwater certain plants. There's going to be plants that need some water every day, maybe every other day. Watermelon is one of them. They need water, they need heat. So pay attention to your watering schedule, because some plants don't need as much. I think tomatoes and cucumbers every 2 days, maybe. A lot of people start out by just doing tomatoes and cucumbers because they like the summer tomato cucumber salads. That's your choice. Just know when you water, you don't want them to be overwatered and you don't want them to be underwatered, okay? Some people that have land, they use drip irrigation. You can find out about drip irrigation online. Some of your big box stores have people there that can help you with finding the actual drip irrigation system that you want to use. You can find information at your library on how to get them installed as well. Mulching. Now, mulching is, I know my husband, he has his own thoughts on that, what he will and will not mulch with. I know that there's been some changes in mulching products. I know they have chemicals and things like that. If he's out here, I want him to actually drop a line and say what he thinks about that. I'm not sure if he's out here yet. But mulching retains your water, okay? So that you don't have to water as much, especially if you pay for your water. If you pay for your water and you're watching your water bill, and you're having a garden, you gotta offset that. You gotta make sure that you're not leaving the water on and then, letting it run down the hill, things like that. That's money out of your pocket. And then you think, man, my water bill went up because I left the water on. Think about it. Think about it. Always think about the implications and what happens if you miss not turning your water off. You don't want a high water bill just because you're trying to get your food, okay? So keep that in mind as well. When to start seeds indoors. So if you are in the Southeast, your planting season or getting them in the ground, I think, is around March 21st, I think. If you're in the Southeast and you've already bought your plants, just look at your zone and it'll tell you. But I think around March 21st is about the time you can actually put plants in the ground. In any case, it's after your last freeze. So just watch your news, watch your people that have, you know, like some of these old farmers, and they'll say it's too cold. Listen to them. Farmer's Almanac, get you one of these. It has it in there. When to plant, but mostly after the first freeze in the southeast. So around March 21st. So you would want to start your seeds germination process. If you're indoors, you want to start them to coincide with going in the ground around March 21st. Okay. All right. So your temperatures and your weather, again, you want to pay attention to that. Which plants like cold weather, which plants like heat. So I've already mentioned one good plant that loves heat, and that's watermelon. What likes cold, hardy weather? Lettuces, cabbage, collard greens, your fall, winter garden, you can do turnips. There's a few, depending on what you like. So if it's something that you like, look into it. Get you some, go to the library and check out some books on home gardening. There's plenty of them. I have some. I don't have, let's see, I don't have it with me. Let me see. Yeah, I have one. Here's one. This one, oops. Can you see that? It's turned backwards, but it's called Reader's Digest Illustrated Guide to Gardening. This is an old book, an old one. This is one of my resources. I got it from the thrift store. Go to the thrift stores, find books in there. Sometimes you can look up with getting a book for $1, and this is one of them. Let me see if I can find something in here right quick. Let me see. Let me look up tomato right quick. Let's see if it's in here. Should be. Yeah. $5.79. Okay, so like here, there's your tomatoes right there. Find a book. Some of the older books, like this one, they're more valuable to me than some of the newer books. Anything printed before the 2000, that's a good one. Pick up some books from your library. Check them out, take them back, check them out, take them back. Go to your thrift stores and take a look. Like I said, this one, a lot of my resource books, they cost me $1. It's who doesn't have $1? Usually it's sitting in your ashtray. On your next day out, next Saturday out, go to a thrift store. Take a look around and get some books. Know what it takes. Like here, I'm looking at my notes. It's talking about how to trellis. So I think this book has how to do a trellis on your own. Let me see. Does it? No, it doesn't. But for your green beans, for your cucumbers, some of your melons like your honeydews and your cantaloupes, you can trellis them. Cantaloupes, I've seen where you can trellis them, but then you can make a net, and as the cantaloupe grows, it'll drop right into the net and it holds it there. So there's all types of things that you can do at home. Make your own trellis system. You can buy trellis systems. That's expensive to some degree, but you can look into that. Another way to start your plants is having a greenhouse. Now, if you have the place to put up a greenhouse, whether it's a small one or an elaborate one, take into account of all of the necessary things you're going to need for that greenhouse to make sure that your plants survive. You don't want to put something in there and just leave them, because greenhouses do get hot. So you don't want to put something in there and the next thing you know, you've burnt them up. Yes, greenhouses will burn up your plants. So be careful on that note. But you also want to make sure that you set your greenhouse up correctly so that you know when to release the hot and bring in some cool to cool it down. Okay? So that's another way to start. Let's see. What else? Companion planting. And this is something that's really, really, that has come about over the past few years. Companion planting. A lot of people have started to realize that certain plants you can grow next to other plants. One particular one is growing marigolds with your tomatoes. I know it's beneficial, but I don't know why. I've forgotten why. But think about companion gardening. If, see what types of plants. So say if you have cucumbers, what grows best next to it? Because they're going to benefit each other. That's the best thing. Another thing you have to take into consideration is whether or not you have a plant that you like and it needs to be hand pollinated. Corn is one of them, unless you buy a corn that is self-pollinating or the bees come and they pollinate. Now, a lot of people say, I don't see bees. That may be true because a few years ago, a whole family lost its business because a person next to their farm, bee farm, sprayed their garden and it killed their bees. So be mindful of that. If you have a plant that needs to be pollinated by a pollinator, such as bees and the blackjacks and things like that, if you don't see bees in your area all the time, you probably don't have them. How can you rectify that? Then you would need to become a beekeeper. That's just being honest. It has happened. The Southeast did lose a big, significant bee farm a few years ago. So a lot of people have decided that they're going to grow their own, have their own beehives. So take that into consideration as well. Crop rotation. So if you have, say if you have an in-ground garden, you want to change up what you put in that plot the next time. If you put tomatoes in there this year, you may want to think about what can go in that plot next year. Don't continue to put tomatoes there because it strips the nutrients out. The same with your container garden. If you don't throw out that dirt, if you're going to reuse that dirt, then yes, you need to rotate it and refurbish and revamp it so that it can receive something else. Okay. Don't forget the last and most important thing. If it's time to harvest, go get your food. Just be ready to get it. There's no use in letting it sit out there. It can't harvest itself. And I'm just being honest. A lot of people think, okay, well, it's going to just manifest and be on my kitchen table. No, you got to go get it. Go and get your food. You put it out there. You planted it. Why? Because you want to eat it. Go get it. Don't be lazy about it. Gardening is not a lazy pastime. It is not. If you're going to be bold enough to start a garden, then be bold enough to go get it. Don't waste your money. It's not worth it. It's just not. And if you're going to be lazy about it, you may as well just continue to eat the dumb food. That's what I call it. Crazy food. I'm being real. I don't sugarcoat nothing. Just being honest about it. Anyway, you are going to have mistakes. Fine. You learn from your mistakes. If you have a plant that burns, it burned. Okay. If you start at 5 and just one burned, you got 4 left. Let it burn. You know what to do the next time. Make sure it doesn't burn the next time. If you have a plant that just didn't grow, try to figure out what happened. Did you put too much fertilizer? Did you fertilize too often? Did you not fertilize enough or not frequent enough? Think about the things you did do and you didn't do. Don't let it beat you over the head, because it's not. God didn't make it that way. He made us to actually till the ground and eat from it anyway. But it doesn't mean that you have to beat yourself over the head about it. Just think about what you're doing. Just think about what needs to be done, why you're doing it. That's the main thing. Why are you doing it? So I'm going to give you some. I hope everybody has gotten something from this talk. And I hope that the people that hear this on the replay get something from this. So right now, I'm going to talk to you about the types of seeds that there are. You have to think about 3 things, whether or not it's heirloom, hybrid, or GMO. You do not want GMO. You want an heirloom seed. That's a seed that continues to produce. So say if you put a seed in the ground, if it's cucumbers, you can actually grow the cucumbers. When you harvest, just take one of those cucumbers, scrape the seeds, scrape the flesh or rinse the flesh off of the seeds and lay them out in the sun, let them dry. That's an heirloom seed. It keeps giving and giving and giving and giving. Hybrids and GMOs, not so much, especially GMOs. GMOs do not reproduce. Hear me when I say that. GMOs do not reproduce. So you're going to pay a little bit more money for your heirloom seeds. Purchase them. Purchase them. Because at the end of the day, they keep giving and giving and giving. They keep giving. Buy them. No use in not buying them. Get them. So let's look at some of the companies. My first preference is always going to be Baker Creek. They have the rare seeds, and they have 2 catalogs. They have a small one, and then they have their whole seed catalog. I prefer to get their whole seed catalog. Sometimes you can get their whole seed catalog in some grocery stores that carry magazines. I do know the last time I was in Sprouts, if you have a Sprouts near you, check them out. Sprouts usually carries it. Okay? That's Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. If not, just go online and they will send it. Ask for it and they'll send it to you. At the end of this video, when I get ready to finish out the description, I will list all of these seed companies in the description box. The next one that's on the list is Johnny's Selected Seeds. The third one is Fedco. The next one is Seed Savers. Number 5 is Burpee Seed. Number 6, High Mountain Organic Seeds. Number 7 is Territorial Seed Company. Number 8 is Botanical Interest. Number 9 is Pine Tree Garden Seeds. And number 10 is Park Seed Company. I will list all of these companies in the description box at the end of the live. Okay? Uh, let's see. What else that we have here? As far as the seeds that are in Walmart, there is a company that's is used by that sells seeds, and it's called American. Be aware that there's two American seed companies. The one that is sold in Walmart is also usually sold in Dollar General, Family Dollar, and all the other little stores. That's an inexpensive seed company. They do sell GMO seeds. I think they sell hybrids as well. But be aware that they are not the other American seed company. So when I list American in the description box, that's the one that's going to be the better company. Okay. You can find Fairy Morse Seeds. That's a company that's sold in Walmart and some of the other least expensive stores. Back to the Roots is another one. So those are the companies that you will see in your Walmart and your least expensive places to buy. Okay. Anybody out there have any questions? If you have questions, go ahead and post it for me right quick. I was wondering what would happen to you. We're getting ready to finish up, but you will be able to see this as a replay. You got any questions, go ahead and put them up. This is this year's it's backwards. I know. I got to figure out what's wrong with my screen. But okay. This is the Farmer's Almanac for this year. I forgot that they do start selling this early, and I got this one back in October. So it is available if you can find it. If not, you can request it online from them. Okay. I want to say that this storm that the Southeast is about to experience, it's mentioned in here a little bit. Not a whole lot, but it's close. I used to look at this all the time. My husband's grandmother used to have one of these. And I used to go over her house and I would read it all the time because I was interested in the articles that's in it. It has recipes in it. And I'm not going to divulge one of the recipes in this one because I'm actually going to make this recipe this year for my husband. So get this. I got this one in CVS. It was at the back of the store. Check your CVS stores. Check. I've never seen them in Home Depot or Lowe's. But if you can't find it at your fingertip, just go to what is it? What is their website? I think it's farmersalmanac.com. Yeah, farmersalmanac.com, and I will also have this listed in the description box. Get you one. It has a lot of stuff. It also has information on helping you decide when to plant, when not to plant, what month to plant in. Terry, I don't know if you heard me say seeds are on sale now. Go ahead and get your seeds before you don't get any seeds. So but you can watch the replay so you can see what I said about getting your seeds and where to get them. Anybody have any more questions? Anybody have any comments about anything? Go ahead and post them. Anybody? You're welcome. You're welcome. I am going to give you a heads up. My next video is probably going to be out of this. I'm not sure, but it's coming. When I saw it, I said, this year is the year for me to do it because my husband really needs this. So be on the lookout. Another thing, I'm going to start posting on TikTok a little, what do you call it, placeholder or something like that, to let you know when I'm going live again or when I'm going to post a recorded video, because the TikTok shop is under new management here in the United States as of today. And I have already been experiencing some stuff I don't want to even bother with. So you're not going to see too much content just to stay over there. It's going to be on YouTube. So I will start posting when I will have something that's going to stay out on YouTube, so people will know that my content is going to be mostly on YouTube. I will be on TikTok for lives, like if I'm sewing live or something like that, or if I want to just show something real quick in the cooking side, it'll be there, something quick. But if it's going to be something like this or that's going to take a little time, it's going to be on YouTube. Anybody else with any questions? Any concerns? Anybody? Okay, well, I said I was going to give you guys an hour to talk about this and get your questions and help you out. It's now time for me to say good night. So I thank you, each and every one of you, for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate it. Tell your friends, share the live with other people that you know that may be wanting to garden, and just tell them to come check me out sometime. I have a lot of things out there already that's in the cooking side. So we're going to take another taste test on the vanilla soon. And yeah, we're going to have a good time. So I thank you, and I'll see you next time. Be blessed.